Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Planet X News, March 13th, 2019. Excuse me. Folks, listen. Apparently, a huge bomb cyclone has hit the Midwest, and it was pretty devastating, and it is still kicking the butts of the folks that live in these states. And I want to show you guys some satellite footage, but we're going to wait a few minutes before I start all of this. We're going to let everybody get their notifications from the lightning fast YouTube. And folks, if any of you watched my live stream earlier today that was in relation to the big crash at Facebook, well, let's just say, I guess YouTube didn't like what I had to say about them because, yeah, I gotta, excuse me one second. I'm trying to set up my live chat and laughing at the same time. But they tried to hit me with some type of weird community guideline strike or whatever the hell you want to call it. And I immediately appealed it. And believe it or not, they got back to me within 2 hours, and I won the appeal. So I don't know if it's their algorithm picking it up or they are kind of like Facebook, where Facebook actually has real live moderators that are assigned a multitude of Facebook pages that are put on a list. Okay. And I run a few Facebook pages, and I can guarantee all of those Facebook pages are on those lists. And I later on found out that these moderators are not here in the United States. The majority of them are in the Middle East and over in India. And yeah, man, these people don't like Americans, but who cares? Social media is literally on the downfall. And right now, Facebook is still having a boatload of problems with whatever they are doing. I'm still having issues with some of my Facebook pages, even my personal Facebook page. Instagram, still having some issues. I was talking with a few friends. They're still having issues. And there's a lot of rumors going around that Facebook is purging their whole entire platform of all different types of conspiracy theorists. Who knows, folks? Who knows? But getting back to some more serious information and some serious weather, I have never in my life seen one of these bomb cyclones hit the United States in the center of the country. Well, specifically kind of over near the Midwest. Colorado is just literally getting hammered. I talked to a friend of mine earlier in Colorado Springs, and she lives not too far from a military base there, and she said it is just an absolute mess. And the situation actually scared her and her 2 young daughters because the wind gusts were just insane. They were having wind gusts in excess of 60 to 70 miles an hour. Some areas, the wind gusts were well over 100 miles an hour. So this looked like a hurricane in the middle of the United States. So as I was mentioning, the last couple of live streams that I've done, the situation with our jet stream and all of this air that is moving upwards from the South Pacific and the Gulf of Mexico, converging with these huge troughs of cold air that is coming down from the Arctic and through Canada. These systems, they merge together and they can create and will create very, very dangerous situations. There was also another occurrence of a massive pressure drop, and that occurred, I believe, right over Colorado, if I'm not mistaken. And the pressure drop went from, I believe, 1,030 millibars all the way down to 992. And I'm not sure if it set a record for a pressure drop, but it was very, very serious, and it definitely contributed to what was happening out there. And by no means are they out of the woods yet. But I prepared a bunch of satellite views of this psycho bomb cyclone that has hit the Midwest. So give me 1 second. We'll go ahead and pull this video up. Just go ahead and back out of here. We'll get rid of that, and we'll pull this right up. And these are just satellite views, and they're going to be changing. We're going to be seeing this in different colors. But you can see, I believe that pressure drop was right over Kansas, if I'm not mistaken, right about there. And whenever you look at this, folks, you know, we all know what these hurricanes look like when they form out in the Atlantic during the hurricane season. And usually when a hurricane hits land, it starts to break up and dissipate. Well, this looks like a hurricane right in the center of the United States. And what you're seeing here, this is a lot of dry air, thank goodness, that's moving up into the center vortex. But it's very warm air. So that's creating some havoc with this system, and it's not slowing it down. So overnight, we will see what's going to transpire. The situation does not look good whatsoever. This is just another satellite view. You can see all of this moisture, and you can see the colder air, that is snow. And you can see the center of this cyclone, as they call it, a bombogenesis. And this was where the big pressure drop came. So they were having wind gusts from 70 to 95 miles an hour with an accumulation of 12 to 24 inches of snow. Snow drifts over 6 feet. This is a wind map right here. And the lines that you see, the little circle lines, those are the pressure. That's the pressure, the highs and the lows. And it's moving off. But you can see these winds. These winds were very, very damaging. And in the meantime, you can see on your chart right here, the amount of snow that fell very, very quickly. Some areas got 5 to 8 inches, but there were some areas that got a hell of a lot more. This is a shortwave infrared view. And again, that looks like a hurricane in the center part of the United States. Again, they refer to it as a bomb cyclone. And ladies and gentlemen, I think we might be seeing more and more of these in the months to come. This formation just literally occurred out of nowhere. I was reviewing some satellite footage and some weather maps and models late last night after I finished my other live stream. And I didn't expect all of this. I saw the convergence of the low pressure and the high pressure, but in no way, shape, or form did I think that this was going to occur. And as you can see, just by looking at this, the way that the vortex is twisting back this way, I mean, it is just an onslaught in some of these states. Very, very scary situations. I was reviewing some video and watching some news reports, and it was just absolutely insane. And it looks like it's moving slowly to the east. This may or may not break up. Really not sure. We're going to have to watch this overnight. And you can see way over here, if you see my cursor, way over here, there's another huge stream of air moving up from the South Pacific. And right near Alaska, it looks just like this, right off the coast, battering the coast right near Anchorage. So the weather is definitely getting very, very nasty. And I'm wondering if this system is going to move towards the East Coast before it breaks up. The data is still fresh. I'm going to stay up late tonight and see if I can get some updates on this, because I live right here in the southwest corner of Pennsylvania. It's just south of the city of Pittsburgh, and I could possibly be affected by some of these long streamers. This was just a video clip real quick, and I'm going to go ahead and just pause this for 1 second. Oh God, I always do this. Always click the wrong button. Here we go. This is just showing you how strong these winds were. Tree damage, power outages, difficulty driving naturally, flight disruptions, and AccuWeather stated that the storm track was about 80 miles, I guess, in diameter, this center part of it. The highest gusts of wind, if you see in the color code here, 60 to 70 miles an hour through all of these states. And then the lighter purple, 50 to 60 miles an hour. And that's a pretty big circumference. So I'm going to go ahead and let this play, because there's another chart that I want to show you that was very important. If I could go ahead and advance it just a little bit so I don't lose it. And this chart right here, this is the snowfall. And you can see in the darker blue areas here, and again, this is a huge stretch. This is a pretty big area. You know, it doesn't look that big on your screen on a map, but you know, when you're down on the ground, these are hundreds of miles here. We're looking at 12 to 18 inches of snow dropping immediately right on the outer bands here in the lighter blue color, 6 to 12 inches. As it moves out, 3 to 6, and way out here, 1 to 3. So, could you only imagine if you were in any of these areas here? And this is advanced from today through tomorrow. And just imagine all of the snowfall out here in Colorado. I know Colorado got slammed. And tomorrow morning, we'll probably get some better updates on what the situation looks like out there in Colorado. I'm going to go ahead and move this forward a little bit. And these were the peak wind gusts from this bomb cyclone today that were recorded in Grand Prairie, Texas, 109 miles per hour. Pine Springs, Texas, 103 miles per hour. Peterson Air Force Base in Colorado, 97 miles an hour. Glen Haven, Colorado, 92 miles an hour. And Hemingford, Nebraska, 89 miles per hour. Folks, this was just supposed to be a snowstorm. It literally turned into a hurricane, a cyclone. And it just really just came out of nowhere. So, as I continue to inform all of you about the weather being our worst enemy right now, I truly mean it. Now, could you only imagine if you went to work early in the morning and your kids were at school and nobody knew that this type of situation was about to occur. I truly didn't see any of this coming. I knew that there was going to be quite a big, a big disturbance over Texas and moving eastward, but I had no idea that this huge cyclone was going to form over the center part of the United States like it did. And I'm pretty intrigued by it, but definitely deadly situations. I was taking a look at the stereo core 2, and there was some minor activity going on the sun, as you can see towards the left part of your sun here. Minor discharge here, small coronal mass ejection. And we'll see how that affects us over the next couple of days. Things have been kind of quiet on the earthquake map, but we'll see tomorrow because we are expecting some impacts of solar wind that were coming from a CME going back about 4 days ago. The sun's actually looking kind of quiet right now. No coronal holes facing us except for just some very, very small areas right here. That's not really going to affect us, but I'm going to go ahead and pull that back up real quick. I'm just going to go ahead and pause it. You could see a lot of openings in the sun's atmosphere here, and this is pretty much normal. We are used to seeing very wide openings, very large coronal holes that have been facing the Earth, and this has been going on since 2016. It seems like some things are changing. I haven't seen the sun's atmosphere look this full. And I'm talking about the coloration area here, not the black areas. The black areas is where you will have the solar wind discharge, and you could see it's relatively filled in now, and we haven't seen anything like that for quite some time. So I'm kind of wondering, are things changing? Are things kind of shifting? I don't know. But I am going to keep tabs on all of this, and I'm gonna watch it very, very closely over the next week. I find some of it kind of suspicious. This isn't going to be a real long 2-hour live stream like I normally do. But I wanted to show you guys some more photographs. If you watched the live stream last night, I showed you those real creepy photographs that I took the day before, and it was the square sun. I just stopped and I took these photographs of this huge cloud formation, and then later on, whenever I got back home, I uploaded the photographs to my computer, and lo and behold, as I was looking at it, I said to myself, what in the hell is that in the center of the picture? And you could see right here, you follow my cursor, that is a complete 90-degree angle square box that's supposed to be our sun. And then within this cloud, and this cloud formation was huge. It probably extended 10, 15, 20 miles. It's very hard to judge from the ground level, but it just spanned all the way across the sky, and it widened like a funnel. But I was keyed in on this section, and I'm so glad that I did. But I can't figure out for the life of me what this grid pattern is. I mean, I don't know. It could be a reflection from the sun simulator, because it would have, and we've seen that type of grid pattern on it, possibly reflectors. I don't know, but I know this much: it's not a problem with my camera. I took these with my cell phone, and I actually have a very, very good cell phone, an expensive cell phone, and it has a great high-definition camera. And I've never, ever, ever seen this type of anomaly in any of my pictures, and I've had this phone now for 2 years. So I was wondering if it showed up in the other photographs that I took, because I took 3 pictures at about just a few seconds apart. So again, I don't know what the hell that is, but that's pretty freaky. Definitely. So I'm going to go ahead and jump out of here, and I'm going to move over here. And I inverted the next photo, and I wanted to see if I can see this grid pattern, and I can faintly see it. Faintly. You can see it right here. You can see a better crisscross here. It is a perfect grid. I don't know, folks. You know, if any of you have any ideas on what that might be, let me know. You know, drop a comment in the comment section under the video. But to me, I'm thinking that that is some type of deep reflection from the combination of the chemtrailing. Oh my God, I said that word. Oh my God. But I think that is a combination of the chemtrailing and the chemicals, you know, the aluminum, the reflectivity of the aluminum, and the sun simulator. I mean, it's a perfect grid. And let's see here, the next one. This one's even better. And this was the 3rd photograph that I took. And the grid pattern, my God, you can see it. It is absolutely perfect. Right through here, right through here. These are perfect 90-degree. They're really not squares. They're kind of like rectangles. When you zoom in, it kind of breaks up a little bit, but when you pull the picture back and you take a look at it, start to say, oh golly gee, what the hell is that? Pretty amazing. And again, if any of you have any idea what you think that might be, when this video processes and I'm done with this live stream, replay it on YouTube, go to the comment section, and leave me a comment on what you think that is. Because it's definitely not a problem with my camera on my cell phone. I took several photographs after I took these, and I don't have any grid pattern anomaly in any of those photographs. So it's definitely kind of weird. I'm going to go ahead and move back over here to these photographs. And this is the original one. That's just really, really strange. This one I did change a little bit of the filtering to bring out the darkness of these rectangles and to show this grid. And this is the original one. And in the original photograph, you can see the perfect square. I would have to assume that that would be the sun simulator. I don't know how in the hell you would ever get a square pattern with our round sun, unless it was being magnified through something, or the light that is shining up above is completely artificial. But you can see in the background, you know, these streaming, whispering clouds. We all know where those came from, because remember, you watched my live stream from last night. This was supposed to be a crystal clear day, not a cloud in the sky, as per my local weatherman. But by 3 o'clock in the afternoon, you know, those fast jet airplanes came out, and they decided to play tic-tac-toe. The skies above. And this is what they've left, the remnants of their garbage that they sprayed in the sky. This was the second photograph that I took in the series of 3. And if you look over here, and again, this photo's untouched. No filter, no color changes, no nothing. This is raw data right here. You can see, very faintly, you can see that grid pattern. You can see it. They are rectangles. It almost reminds me of the large solar collectors on the space station. The large solar panels that extend out like antenna. That's what it reminds me of. Pretty weird. I gotta say, our skies are really getting weird, man. You know, I wish that I could sit all day and just watch the sky and have all of it on recording and then sit back and replay it. And I could guarantee you on every single day, I would capture something insanely crazy. And I'm not the only one, folks. There are people around the world that are pointing their cameras and their cell phones to the heavens above, and they are capturing some really, really weird anomalies. But this is something that I wanted to point out in this photograph. I was looking, and what the hell is that? It seems like a little round sphere right there. And these are high definition photographs. So I would not be able to zoom in on my computer that far if these were low definition photographs. And as you could see, the pixels would be much, much bigger. They wouldn't be small and tight like you see here. So I don't know what that is. It's very, very weird, and it showed up in that picture. I noticed it immediately. Could it be our little tiny sun, 93 million miles away? Or could it be a piece of that sun simulator? I could give a hoot less about the sun simulator. I want to know what that grid pattern is, because that actually looks like some type of a structure. You can clearly see, if you just stare at it for a minute, you can clearly see there's a straight line right across here. There's a 90-degree angle right here. And then you can see it's divided into these rectangles. I don't know, guys. You know, what do you think? What do you think that is? What do you think that little round sphere is in the middle? I'll zoom into it one more time. That's as tight as I can get it. It looks pretty ominous. I don't think it's a planet or anything of that nature. Definitely not the moon. This was about 3:30 in the afternoon. And this was the last photograph that I took. So remember, I took 3. We've already viewed 2 of them. And what appears? There's your grid, baby. Right there. And you can see it divided into these rectangles perfectly. And then, what was a little disturbing is the little sphere that we just looked at. Part of it is appearing right there. Let's kind of zoom into that. You can see the rest of it's kind of blocked out, but there was part of it right there. So obviously, there was something in the center here and the grid pattern. I don't know. We need to all put our thinking caps on and let's form a conspiracy. I want to show you one more picture here that my man Blue Kool-Aid, I sent him that photograph, and he did some work on it. And here it is right here. He did his own artistic touches. He put the Blue Kool-Aid touch on this, and he added the WTF, because that's exactly what kind of moment I had whenever I looked at it. And yeah, he was looking over here. There's some kind of a freak cube somewhat over here. Again, all these weird 90-degree angles, 90-degree angle here. But what in the hell is behind this cloud? No idea. This is a WTF moment brought to you by Planet X News and Blue Kool-Aid. Oh yeah. And again, folks, if any of you have any idea what this is, or you want to comment, you've got some ideas, wait till this video processes and I'm finished with the live stream. Jump back on the video, go down to the comment section, and leave me a comment. Let me know what you think it is. I am going to head out tomorrow, and I'm going to go to a couple of different locations where I have a really, really good view, and I'm going to take some more photographs. Now, I'm getting more and more intrigued. I want to see if I can capture something else weird in our skies. But getting back to this weather situation, folks, a very, very serious situation out in the Midwest. I'm not sure if this is going to impact the East Coast of the United States, but we will see. This was that real fast drop in pressure. At this point in time, it made it all the way down to 994 millibars, and I believe it was up near 1,037, something like that. And it dropped 24 millibars in 13 hours, and it really, really created a nasty situation out there in the Midwest. So I'm going to keep an eye on this for the next 12 hours, and we'll see what transpires. We had some pretty moderate temperatures here in my neck of the woods. It got all the way up to 55 degrees, and they were calling for temperatures to rise in the next few days close to 70 degrees. Now, that is a little abnormal for our area. We're, this time of year, we're normally just in the high 50s, low 60s. But because we have so much of this warm air streaming up from the Gulf of Mexico and creating these situations now over Texas, Oklahoma, Louisiana, Arkansas, Missouri, Alabama, we're going to continue to see these very serious situations with tornadoes. The tornadic activity is going to be very, very intense. And again, I can't say this enough. Please watch your weather. Try to get at least a day in advance an outlook. I'm going to do the best I can that if I see something transpiring within our country here, I'll let you guys know. I'm going to keep a very, very close eye on the weather because, again, at this point in time, folks, as we move into the spring, things are going to heat up. And I don't mean temperature-wise. I mean activity-wise. We may see one of the worst spring weather situations in this country in over 100 years. So make sure you guys stay tuned and make sure you protect yourselves. Make sure you keep yourself in the loop when it comes to this weather. I'm going to go ahead and end this live stream now. I see Jeff P. and my man Blue Kool-Aid out there. I'd like to thank each of you for helping me out as moderators. And as you can see, folks, we don't have too many trolls entering into our live streams anymore because we got some heavy muscle in there now. They won't last but maybe a few seconds. But anyways, Jeff and Mark, thank you guys very, very much. And folks, once again, keep your eyes and your ears open and watch your weather. This is Scott from Planet X News. Thank you for watching.